Brent Butt is one of my favorite Vancouverites. He's a comedian, he's an author, he's a fan of cheesies and Crown Royal, and he also is a Sasquatch enthusiast. Most people don't know that. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
What first got you interested in Sasquatch?
I remember the day specifically. My family was visiting a family that were friends of ours, and I was on the floor drawing, as I always was, and my dad and his buddy, Joe, Big Joe, was talking, and Joe said to him, "You hear about these stories?" He was from Hungary. "You hear about these stories? These people see this giant wild man in the woods." And I became fascinated. I listened to them talk about it, and as they talked, I started drawing it. And I was fascinated ever since.
Do you still have the drawings?
Plus, Legend of the Boggy Creek came out around that same time. Legend of Boggy Creek, first Sasquatch movie I was aware of. So, yeah, I'll doodle Sasquatch all the time.
All right. Is there Sasquatch in Saskatchewan?
There have been reports. There was a time when there were no Sasquatch reports in Saskatchewan. There was a time when there were two places. I remember the North American map. There were two places that didn't have a sighting. Sasquatch is one of them, and I'm blanking on the other one. But now, every place has. People don't understand how much bush is in northern Saskatchewan. Like the southern half is flat. Bad place to be a Sasquatch. You can't hide. Lay in the ditch for a couple of days maybe. Crawl into a culvert, that kind of thing. But the northern half, a lot of bush. Fantastic place for a Sasquatch.
Do you believe in Sasquatch?
I hope. I'm driven by hope. I love the idea of there being just a giant primordial primate we haven't discovered walking around, roaming the woods. But I wouldn't say that I'm a believer. I want there to be, and I haven't heard any good reason not to believe it could be out there. So I'm a fingers crossed kind of guy.
And you've read a lot of the books.
Yeah.
Obviously. Have you read this one?
Yeah, I've read of Jocko, not this specific book, but the strange story of Jocko, the ape boy. Yeah.
Jocko, the ape boy.
Yeah, they had him in custody, right?
Yeah.
He got hit by a train, right?
Yes.
And the folks at the train thought, well, we should throw this thing in a cage.
After they threw a rock at its head.
Yeah, as people do. They had science was different in those days. And but they let it escape. So to me, that seems a little sketchy, seems a little iffy.
The sketchy thing about that to me is that there was only one newspaper article about it, and
Yeah.
we never had a follow-up that said, well, Jocko escaped.
Yeah.
It was just the one.
Seems like it should have been a bigger story.
It should have been. If it happened now, I think everybody would have it on their phones.
Well, sure, yeah. The iPhones in the 1800s were of terrible quality. They were just terrible. And the reception, don't get me started on the reception.
Speaking of, there's a Sasquatch emoji coming.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, September.
See, how much more mainstream do you need?
What do you
need
it
to
for?
believe? It's got an emoji, for the love of fudge.
Would you use the Sasquatch? I'm struggling to figure out what you would use the Sasquatch emoji for.
Yeah, it was very specific. Guess what I just saw as you pulled over on the side of the woods?
Yes.
I don't know when it would come up, but I suppose if you're really into it, you could just sign off. I could sign off. I could send somebody a text and sign off with that, and they would know who it is.
They would know that it's
Yeah, they would be like, oh, maniac Sasquatch guy. Yeah, I'll work them into any conversation. It's a fantastic reference.
Have you ever gone on a hunt?
No, that's the last place. I've been invited. People say, because they know I'm a Sasquatch nut, and they say, well, we're going out in the woods for 10 days to hunt the Sasquatch. You want to come? No. I don't ever want to be in the same room with one. I don't want to be within where it can get a hold of me. That's the last thing I want. I'm sort of fascinated by the Wolfman also. I don't want to, I read Dracula. It doesn't mean I want to go on a vampire hunt. No, I hope that they find one and I can see it on TV.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to. I would drop dead of a heart attack. I'd fill my trousers and drop dead in 2 seconds if I saw one in real life.
Okay.
Even if, they're often purported to be quite gentle.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'd be like, pardon me while I drop dead.
We've never heard of a Sasquatch attacking anybody.
You haven't?
I haven't.
Oh, there's many
Really?
reports. Certainly, because they're territorial. They protect their territory and that kind of thing. And there have been stories of people torn apart in a way that they can't figure out what tore it apart. So they're out there, those stories. But yeah, They're not common. They're not. I don't think when Sasquatch wakes up in the morning, I don't think he's like, I can't wait to tear a person apart.
I don't think so.
It's circumstantial. So if you mind your P's and Q's and don't go on a Sasquatch hunt, that's how I'm avoiding being torn apart.
Yeah. Well, I went on a Sasquatch hunt once.
Madness. You're lucky to be alive.
With this guy. Look at that business card.
Yeah. How do you
Pull it
how
up
do you
on the
not?
screen.
How do you not?
Yeah.
That's something
So that
Jim
is
Rockford would
somebody's-
print off in the back of his Firebird.
That's someone's actual title. And we went on a hunt and we didn't see a Sasquatch. But we saw all the places looking over Harrison Lake where a lot of the Sasquatch sightings have apparently
Harrison
happened.
hotbed, yeah.
There you go. You wrote a book, which we should probably plug your book here.
Not a Sasquatch book.
Absolutely not a Sasquatch book. And the part of the reason why I brought it up is because the book's doing really well, still doing really well. And I wonder, would you ever write a book about Sasquatch or have Sasquatch as a character in a book?
Just a secondary character, a love interest, perhaps?
Sure.
I could see myself writing a book about Sasquatch. I sort of have an idea about a guy who's being terrorized by something that he thinks might be Sasquatch, that we don't ever ultimately see. We don't ever ultimately know what it is. So I sort of have the framework for that story.
Nice.
But it's not the next story. The next story I'm but partway through my next novel now.
Okay.
Which is also a dark psychological thriller like my first one, Huge.
Fantastic.
That's as much as I had 35 years in stand-up comedy, when I write my novels, turns out they're kind of dark and scary.
Like this Sasquatch.
Yeah, I'm a layered individual. I have varied interests.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Appreciate all your thoughts about Sasquatch. Maybe we'll see him someday. Maybe we won't.
I think we will.
Brent Butt, Sasquatch enthusiast, believes that Sasquatch might be out there. We're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, Nina Savage on the street asking people what they think of Sasquatch.